Welcome to my channel, Rashida Silvertree here. Welcome to my space, my place. So today's topic, unconditional love. Let's talk about it. A while ago, I made a video about unconditional love and how it sets you free and how, everyone has access to it and it's amazing. And when you, for example, when you enter into like a romantic relationship, true unconditional love is you don't attach yourself to the other person, blah, 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 blah. There's some truth in that message, so check it out. But then it dawned on me the other day, and I challenged my personal philosophy on unconditional love, and it started to make sense to me, and I wanted to share it with you. So the title to this is when we're a child, when we're children, we are at our highest capacity to love unconditionally until we're taught not to. The most purest form of love is from a child to their mother and father, but mostly mother because, women, we carry them, we feed them from our breast, all that. But it is the purest form. Nothing beats the love, the natural love a child has for their mother. And what's so interesting is that you'll have women that, and even in nature, where they'll have a whole litter of cubs or kittens or what have you, and then they just kind of toss one baby to the side and focus on the other babies. There's a term for that. In humans, we have postpartum depression, where that connection, that natural, organic connection I just mentioned, it doesn't happen, and it takes a much longer for the woman to make that bond, and that happens all the time. So what was my point with that? Right, yeah. So children have that pure love. So a mother could reject the child, but that child is like, I love you. I love you. I don't even know why I love you. I just do. And then we teach them to love with conditions. There are traumas, suffering, pain, wounds, horrible experiences. And it dawned on me. I was thinking about romantic relationships the other day, and I was like, you know why? One of the big reasons why relationships unfold, you have someone who loves unconditionally. And then you have someone who loves with conditions. And when the two meet, it is the most incompatible connection. And in one human being, in one person, you can have seasons where you are completely capable of loving unconditionally. And then you'll have seasons in life where your heart's broken, you're bitter, you're resentful, you're jaded, and you're like, okay, F that, I'm loving with conditions. I'm not going to make myself vulnerable like that ever again, so you say. And you're like, I'm loving with conditions. And it dawned on me again, when you think of like high profile, celebrity power couples, where it looks like they've just been together for decades, but it's not out of love, it's out of necessity. I call that the conditional lovers and meeting up with another conditional lover. They have conditions. They make agreements. They make contracts with each other. This is what I'm bringing to the table. This is what I'm bringing to the table. Let's build something together. Then you will have the unconditional lover that will love no matter what. Meet another unconditional lover that will love no matter what. And they meet and they build something beautiful together. That is the rare love people always talk about. Because I'm like, what is this Disney ass silly, like, oh, everyone has that one love, but the love is so rare. What is that? All throughout my 20s, I'm like, what is that? What does that mean? It's such a rare love. True love is rare. Like, why is true love rare? And now I get it. We all have the capacity. We all have the capacity to love unconditionally. There's been seasons in my life where I love with conditions. There's been seasons in my life where I loved unconditionally. And can I sit here and say, have I received love unconditionally? No, I have not. But I know that I have loved unconditionally, and I've given unconditional love to some people. And then others came with conditions, right? Like, these are my expectations. This is what I'm doing. This is what you're doing. This is what and but the most freeing and the most God-centered type of love is the unconditional. You love them regardless of their changes and their growth or their stagnation. That's why true love, true unconditional love is rare. Everybody has conditions. Most people do. And I feel like the season that you're most open to loving unconditionally is when you fall in love for the first time, because you give everything you've got to that individual. Everything. You stand with them, you fight with them, for them, you do everything that you believe is right for you and for the relationship, for them. And then they don't do the same for you. Math isn't mathing. Things are adding up. And lo and behold, they have conditions. Right? But I thought you would support me in this, in anything, anytime. And I thought we made an agreement. Conditional love will keep you safe, will keep your intentions centered. Conditional love isn't bad. It isn't bad. It's just a product of the type of society and culture and human nature that we're in right now, the type of age that we're in our consciousness, where people have to, it's to the point, it's so bad where women online, especially, like, because everyone shares everything now, they're like, I'm not dating a man who doesn't make six figures. It's like, how much do you make, lady? But yeah, it's that, or a man, they'll say, well, I'm not getting with a chick who won't wash my dirty drawers or who won't cook and clean for me. That's conditional love, right? Or I'm not getting with somebody who's not going to be the mother and the housewife and raise my kids, Or I'm not going to get with a man who can't provide for me. I want to be at home. I want a man who can support me staying at home and I don't have to work, Or I want a man that will support my career choice. I want a man who's okay with me being child free. I want a man who's, like, we live in a society with, like, where you meet somebody and they're listing off all the conditions, all the expectations, all the things that they need you to do. And unconditional love is kind of like, hello, do I have any space here? Like, it seems very rigid in here. Conditional love is just a safe, it's self-preservation. And I understand it as someone who's, made it through a few heartbreaks. At this point, yeah, I have conditions. I have conditions. I need those conditions because I will get chewed up and spit out. And that is a hard truth. I wish, like, in my unconditional love video I made, where people really were like, wow, I wish I could always be like that. I've tried to, on numerous occasions, not too much, not with everybody, but on a definitely pivotal relationships I've had in my life, I really tried to share that part of myself. But society has different expectations, right? The very nature of how people approach people, it's all on what can you do for me? What can you do for me? And I'll see what I can do for you. That's the type of love. And it can be a very balanced, healthy, very transparent relationship, conditional love. You know where each other stands. Unconditional love, you don't really know where the other person stands too much. Or maybe you do, but you have no attachment to anything. Your promise is, I will be here no matter what. Right? You have no conditions or expectations, so they can explore, they can go out, they can test boundaries, they can, re-identify themselves. Like, it's unconditional love, which is a high form of love. It's a high evolution where you can be in a marriage or a whole. I don't like partnership, because if you have a part of a ship, the ship's going to sink. But you have a healthy relationship with another, and you're solid, they're solid, and you love them unconditionally. Oh, hey, hun, I have this dream. I want to move to Scotland, or I want to move to the other side of the country, but I don't think you can come, but we can do long distance. Unconditional love has to come into effect. Otherwise, you have conditions and they go and they break those conditions. It's not going to work, right? Or, for example, a real popular thing now, polyamory. Well, I shouldn't say polyamory isn't popular. It's been around for millennia. So, where one person has multiple partners, polyamory. So you're with, like, in a marriage for 10, 15 years, and then one partner or one lover's like, hey, I want to explore. You're enough for me, but I want to explore. Right? I want to go beyond the conditions that we have right now, and I want to have more partners than you. If both of you are conditional lovers and you both agree on changing those conditions, okay, it works. There are some partnerships, I keep saying it, some relationships where marriage works like that. They have an open marriage and it works. Others, they'll try it, but one lover is like, this is not working out for me, because it goes against their fundamental core values, that, the condition, the agreed upon contract. This is what I expect from you. This is what you expect from me. And if you evolve past that, then it turns into something else. I think people would love to love unconditionally. But for two unconditional people to love and they meet, what a rarity, and what a beautiful gift. A beautiful gift. Especially in a romantic sense. Because you can find unconditional love through friendships. You can find that. But like a romantic, a long-term relationship, and you have two unconditional lovers meet, God resides in the relationship. I swear. I feel like conditional relationships, conditional lovers they can make it work. They can have a stable marriage. They can have a stable relationship, but something's missing. It always seems like something's missing in relationships with conditions listed. But But again, I leave you all with this. What does it truly mean to love unconditionally? What does that mean for you? Not for a partner, not in a romantic sense, just loving yourself, loving the self without conditions. Because it's like when you start to love on the darker aspects of your shadow self, of your lower nature, you become friends with your demons, right? Because you can't get rid of them. You can't get rid of your angels or demons. You can run away from, it's almost like human beings will run away from their demons and chase after their angels. It's a weird thing, dance that we do with ourselves. You know, the little cartoon of the devil being on the left and angel being on the right, and they're telling you what not to do, what to do. Loving these aspects, these dark aspects of yourself, becoming friends with them, I think unlocks that. It unlocks what has been suppressed when we were children, when we were, you know, free loving. We didn't expect anything from anyone else. Unconditional love, you're not expecting anything from anyone else. You just love. Oh, you don't love me? Okay. Oh, you love me? Oh, great. To be in that type of space, especially in a romantic sense, woo! That is powerful. That's a powerful, powerful place to be in consciousness. To not lose your shit when you love somebody with all your being, and then they're like, I love you, but not that much, and you're still okay. Like you're still your world doesn't fall apart because you're just you practice. You have a great practice with non-attachment, non-judgment, and you're just kind of like, I allow love to flow. And when love flows, where love flows, energy grows, you know? But conditional love is like you're imprisoning love. It's boxed in. But it'll keep you. And here's the beautiful thing about love in general. Conditional, you can start a partnership or relationship off or friendship with conditions. And it later evolves into unconditional, where you break all the conditions that you had with this other person, and you allow the love to evolve into something unconditional. That I do believe, and that can happen, and it does happen. Where it like it's a beautiful thing when a relationship goes beyond just the lust and the sex and the money and the stability and the prestige and the resources. Like, it goes into a whole nother ether. That is possible. Does it happen a lot? No. Then sometimes you'll have unconditional love start, and then fear happens in the relationship, betrayal happens in the relationship, and it becomes conditional. Oh, now that you cheated, or now that you stole, or now that you hit me, you did this, you did that. Now now you have to follow my rules. You have to follow my conditions, or I'm done with you, right? That happens, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you all, like, and why like incompatibility happens a lot of the time, because you're like, I don't understand, I love this person so much. And then one thing with conditional lovers is they won't tell you their conditions. They put on the guise that I love you, I love you, I love you, and then all of a sudden they have conditions to the relationship. This needs to be done, this is what I want, this is So yeah, maybe I think the safest bet is to start off with your conditions. Like, these are my expectations, these are my values and principles. This is how you will treat me, because this is how I treat myself. So this is how you will treat me. If you don't abide by this, then that tells me this ain't it. And unfortunately, a lot of men and women it needs to be like that, because they will you will be chewed up, swallowed, and then regurgitated. I swear, like, to be that naive and to love with such openness in a type of culture that we're in right now, in the type of society we're in right now, where human beings are in their evolution of consciousness, it ain't safe in these streets. It will be a heartbreak after a heartbreak, because you're trying to love conditional people. People who already have a contract of how they want to embed themselves with you, how they want to tether themselves with you, into you. So you have to have conditions too. That is the way to discern and to protect yourself. You know, I believe me, I tried the whole, I'm not going to judge this person. You know, okay, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that, I'm still going to love him anyway. And you end up getting effed up emotionally, because you went in with no conditions, no expectations. You ignore all the red flags because you want to love unconditionally. Best bet to activate the unconditional love, you have to love with conditions, because that's how you're going to weed out a lot of issues, a lot of trouble, a lot of troubled people. Troubled people will leave you, more often than not, troubled people will leave you alone when you say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Like, you know, when you're like, this is how I treat myself, so you best treat me this way, how I treat myself. Or you can go kick rocks. And people need to hear that. They really do. They just need to just get out your face. And don't come playing around and act, no. Don't do it. Call them out on it. Hold them accountable. I would never treat myself this way, so what makes you believe I would allow you to treat me this way? And they're like, ooh, can't mess with her. Can't mess with him. Women do it too. Right? Can't mess with him. He knows what he wants. He has conditions. And then they'll say to you, your standards are too high. You're picky. You keep doing that. You keep having that mindset. You're going to be alone and die alone with cats. All because you love yourself unconditionally. Therefore, you create conditions to protect that, because unconditional love is a gift, and people take that for granted. They just do. It's just a human flaw. Oh, she ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. I can treat him however I want. Right? Because they have no conditions. I can try to get away with all this crap. Okay. I will leave you with this. Allow God consciousness to be the foundation in the love that you attempt to build with another. And the truth of that connection will unfold before your eyes. Humble thyself before the Lord, right? I love that. Keeps you grounded. Humble thyself before consciousness, before God consciousness, whatever you want to call God, okay? Jesus, Allah, Buddha. Bring that force into whatever you're trying to or attempting to build with another, and you will see if that person is right for you. Because most of the time, the wrong person for you will run away from God. they will run. Not walk, run. Okay? Praying, why are you praying? Meditating, why are you meditating? Why are you reading the Bible? Why are you reading the Quran? Why are you chanting? Stop the chanting, it's too loud. Stop praying. And it's very subtle too, like at first, and then it gets louder. Bring God consciousness, that higher power, into that connection with that person that so wants to be with you for the rest of their life, and see if they will humble themselves before the Lord, before God, consciousness, source, Buddha, Allah, Jesus, okay, whatever you guys believe in, all right? And they will humble themselves and get on their knees and pray. Fold their legs into a lotus and meditate in silence. Just humbling themselves. They can't do that with you. I'm tired. I hurt. I'm in pain. I can't. I won't. Like, that, to me, that's the biggest red flag a man or woman should never pass up, unless you're atheist. If you're atheist, go do you, boo-boo. Okay? Go do you. I no shade to my atheists out there. Just go find your match. They're out there. Okay? You believe in nothingness, which is funny because you have atheists believe in nothing, so that's a belief, is it not? But okay, right? Go about, move on. I'm talking about those that are, you believe that you're part of something greater than just this human experience, right? That you are co-creator, that you are part of something, a fragment of consciousness remembering itself. There's so many different ways to say it, but that's the biggest test. For my Christians out there, you bust open that Bible, right? You look at them. They'll fake the funk at first. Oh, I'm totally enlightened. I'm totally aware. I'm totally Christian. I'm totally Muslim. I'm totally. Whoa. Just watch over the weeks and the months. And they'll crack. The wrong ones will crack. The right ones will hold your hand and pray with you. That is like powerful. You want someone that has the capacity to humble themselves before challenges in life. They humble themselves with you during illness. They humble themselves with you during a loss. They humble themselves with you through joy. They humble themselves with you through sorrow. It's more, that unconditional love. That's where higher consciousness begins to activate in that connection. It is limited under condition. That's all. Let me know what you think and feel, and